Hey guys, welcome to my patch 14.22 tier list. We're going to talk about the jungle changes and what I think the best champions are for this patch. I'm going to do things a little more differently this time. I'm going to explain what the changes were and where champions sort of went up and down from the last tier list. And we'll jump into what I think is going to really dominate this patch. So let's jump right in. So in this slideshow real quick, we're going to talk about who got buffed and who got nerfed. So Briar gained a bit of base HP. Pretty solid buff. Vice W gained 3% more damage on the percent current health, which is pretty powerful for Vi. Wukong's W cooldown, the base W cooldown, got increased, and this is more of a top lane buff, but it did help him in the jungle as well for the early game skirmishes. Maybe you can get 2 sets of your W. Maokai's base HP also went up, and he also gained some movement speed. So Maokai actually bumped him up a tier in solo queue. I think Maokai's a decent tank, all around, like, not the greatest, but Maokai is good. We're going to talk about Graves a lot later. We have Lilia got nerfed by a bit of the base AD, and her healing got hit hard. Jax, not really a jungler, but we sort of can see some Jax. Jax got hit pretty hard. His burst damage from his ultimate, and just in general, his survivability, I think, also got hit. But Jax is like, if I were to play him jungle before, now I'm like, a bit unsure, and Mordekaiser got hit by a little bit, not by much. His E damage got hit by a decent amount, but not the end of the world. And last but not least, we got this guy right here. So Udyr got hit the absolute hardest. He went from S plus tier all the way down to like an A tier. I could even see him being in the B tier. Now Udyr's not going to be weak, but he's definitely not going to be as OP as he was before. So let's talk about Graves real quick, guys. So I put Graves at the literal top of the tier list. So the reason why Graves is up here is he's already seeing some good steam given the type of champions that are being played. He's still very, very, very powerful. And the damage he's dealing is actually insane. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few patches ago, we had Gwen at the top, we had Shyvana at the top. The reason why these guys are at the top is because of the amount of damage they deal, their items, and the efficiency around the map. So Graves right now actually got an indirect buff from Youmuu's gaining move speed and losing some AD. That's actually a good thing for Graves because Graves wants to move around the map quicker. And just in general, we've been seeing more and more Graves show up. I feel like this champion's just been in a better place nowadays, especially with the amount of tanks and people who are, in a sense, full clearing. Like, what happens is in solo queue, people will full clear, like I've been saying, and then we can introduce some more aggressive junglers, and now people don't really know how to deal with that. That could also play a role in here. As you guys can see, Udyr was up here. Now he's down here in the A tier. And again, he might even go down to the B tier. I'm not 100% sure, but he's definitely not S or S+. Definitely not OP. The next thing to talk about here is still Teemo is very, very powerful. In fact, all things considered, if you look at Teemo, compare him to a lot of the S plus and S tier champions, Teemo still thrives, and especially for those low elo players who want to play a fun champion, and I don't know, Teemo's just a great, fun, like, annoying nuisance champion. I personally think Teemo's still very powerful. You have the classic Amumu and the Nocturne, very classic combo. You have all of S tier, which hasn't really changed. I would say, especially for lower elos, this is your go-to list of S tier champions. Now you can introduce a champion like maybe Gwen here, or maybe Kindred, even maybe a champion like Lilia. Even though Lilia got nerfs, like they all can be S tier. The reason why I put these guys as S tier for my low elo players specifically, because it's actually very difficult to maneuver Gwen, Kindred, Fiddlesticks, Lilia. So a lot of these A tier champions can actually be S tier interchangeably. The difference is their general strength along with how easy it is to play the champion. Ultimately, guys, if I were to recommend a champion for you to play, if you're here for the tier list, champion for you to play, please, please, please consider this champion, any of these champions actually up here, and Shyvana. I think Shyvana is still underratedly one of the most broken junglers for anyone below Emerald. To get to Emerald, like a hack. It's like a hack. And then those farming junglers at the top, and Graves is debatable. He's a little bit harder, but still very overtuned right now. For this patch, you can definitely abuse him. And ultimately, what I want to express, again, for everything down here, I'm not going to 100% talk about it. I'll link the tier list where I talked with Chad Jungle for a whole hour around every single champion. Again, I plan to do more of those things, but this is not going to be that video. If you guys are unsure what champion to play, please hear me out and pick a champion, one trick it. If you are playing for short wins and LP here and there per patch, it's not going to 100% help you succeed in terms of climbing. You need to commit to one champion. You need to commit to 2 champions max. So even if my champion is, let's say, in the B tier, I'd still play him. Even if my champion is here, I'd still play him. Even if my champion is here, I'd still play him. Now, are you going to make your climb more and more difficult as you go down? Absolutely. But that shouldn't dissuade you, if that's even a word, from trying to play the champion. It shouldn't, like, you should commit pretty much. Number one advice is commit to the champion you're playing, because every single one of these champions, there's at least one person who's played it in your role, jungle, that has hit challenger. Now, many more who have hit masters. There are Aphelios jungles have hit masters. I had a Quinn student hit masters, grandmasters, without even my coaching. Like, he's just a good Quinn jungle player, and there's a Heimerdinger jungle player. All sorts of crazy shenanigans. If you're good at the game, good at your champion, you can get to any elo, especially masters. But will it be easier if you play champions up here? Absolutely. Just remember though, don't switch champions every single patch. That's the worst thing you can do for yourself. Alright guys, it was a short, nice little tier list here. If you guys want more in-depth content about tier lists, about patch rundowns, about literally anything, I've completely revamped my Patreon. I highly recommend you guys check it out in the description box below. My Patreon is where I'm going to be dedicating a lot more of my time. And on top of that, I am returning with daily coaching sessions for my tier 3 Patreon members. I will quickly show you guys actually what that looks like, because it is super, super, super fun to be part of this. So real quick, what this looks like is, here's my schedule. You can join any one of you can join like any of these times every single day. And right now, actually, it is completely free. So join the Discord for the next week. It is completely free. So you guys get to understand how the tier 3 Patreon works. You pretty much send your VOD in here. We had a few people send their VODs, and I'll review your game for completely free right now for the next week. Highly recommend you join. And for the future, it'll be through the Patreon tier 3. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys take a look at Graves Dispatch, and for all my Udyr mains, commit to your champion. Okay, if you're a good Udyr player, you'll make Udyr work. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.